Good morning. I'd like to call to order this work session of the Southampton Town Board on this 15th day of October, 2020. Please rise if you're able and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Sunday, would you call the roll?
Certainly. Supervisor Schneiderman?
Here.
Councilwoman Lofstad?
Here.
Councilman Martell?
Here.
Councilman Bouvier?
Here.
Councilman Scavone?
Here.
All right, thank you. Gang's all here. We'll get started. Couple items for our work session today. We're going to start out with a conversation about the dog area, dog park in East Quogue. We're joined by some community members. Brian Babcock is here, Julie Crowley from the East Quogue community, and Kristen Doulos, our Parks Director, is here, and there may be some others here on this topic. So, Kristen, do you want to, and I don't know, well, Julie, you've been liaison to this. Do you want to say anything at the beginning of this?
Sure, I'll just start quickly. So back in 2018, I handed out a timeline for everybody in a small package. Back in 2018, some community members from East Quogue had come to us proposing a dog park. The town board at the time thought it was a good idea to move forward and research it. The town had looked at several properties and kept coming back to the Pine Neck Marina area. That is the property we ultimately have
Janice just went to get it.
proposed for this off-leash area, not a dog park. It's a very standard off-leash area, a fence, a fountain that the Rotary graciously donated. The community is planning to be stewards of the area. So I just wanted to give you all the information. I know Kristen's handing out a packet as well. And hopefully we can move forward should the board decide to do that.
So what exactly are we being asked of? We've
we-
already sort of agreed to do this, haven't we?
Yes, we agreed to do it. We also funded it in Parks budget. I think it was last year.
Yeah, it made it into the 2020 budget.
Right.
So it's currently in our operating budget, additional funds were put in.
So what are, today, we're just talking about, are we being asked to approve donations of certain things from the community, or what?
I think it's been some time since we revisited this, and since the initial meeting, we've refined some aspects of it, and we just wanted to bring it forward again before we actually put
Okay.
start the work on it.
Okay.
Does
so-
something need to go out for bid or not? It's all community driven, right? Or,
The major expense is the fencing and gates, and there's a county contract for fencing that we received quotes on, and that's who we would move
And we've
forward.
already put the money out there for that, right?
The money is budgeted for, yes.
It just hasn't, the work hasn't begun.
Right, we would just have to do a resolution to authorize the fence work, and then we could get a purchase order.
And this is the money that was put in November of 19, looking at.
Yes,
So it's been there for a year.
yes, it's in our maintenance operating budget, and we made sure we reserved that money along the year until we got to this project, knowing that it would be coming down the pipeline eventually.
Yes, unfortunately, this work session was supposed to happen back in April, but then COVID, so here we are.
So is there any community concern, or the people who were not happy with this, or is it pretty much it's going well, or?
I haven't heard anything in my office. I don't know if there's been feedback in
I
your
have heard
offices.
a few things. There were some people who were concerned about accidents in the area. I had asked Tom Neely to take a look in that specific area there. There's been
You
four
mean like
accidents.
car accidents?
Car accidents, yeah, 4 accidents within 4 years. Something to take into consideration. I know that some people were concerned about the environmental aspect of it, but we did have Marty Shea take a look at it,
Yeah.
and he said it was okay.
so I'm just confused. What is car accidents involved? How does that,
traffic into the area, I guess.
Oh, they're concerned about people bringing dogs and traffic, all right.
Well, it's a park now, right?
It does,
Yeah,
it
it's a
is,
marina, yeah.
It's trafficked anyway, yeah.
It's a public park, and quite a lot of people do walk their dogs through there currently. It's a 22-acre parcel that does have a lot of other surrounding town-owned properties, but just this tax map number alone is 22 acres. The primary use right now is for a town-owned marina. This is a CPF property. We've worked with Lisa Combrink on this also, and Laura Smith, and have worked out the dimensions of it so as not to interfere with, we're staying in a disturbed area. We're staying clear of a walking trail that's in the, that runs through here. So,
Is this the park where we have a house at the very end of that road?
yeah, on the point, if you look at the more zoomed out version on the second page, you can't really see the house, but on the point of that property toward the south, there is a house that was on there when it was purchased by CPF that remains there.
We don't use it for anything?
Currently, no.
And what's that other disturbed area near the house?
It's just like a driveway that, in like a circular kind of area that,
Not the teardrop shaped thing that looks like the driveway.
Oh, that's
but
actually-
Next to it.
oh, that's the house, and then behind it, I don't know if that was used for dredge spoils at one time.
Yeah, this was actually dredged,
Yeah,
and
look
so
at
it's not
this area
trustee.
here.
This house is right on the point. We'd actually walked through with Stony Brook at one
Is
time.
this area here? is
That's
it?
a house.
That's the house?
Yep, there's a house right on there. It's actually, we were looking at this as a potential nursery for agriculture in this canal at one point, but Stony Brook didn't appear to have that much interest in doing that, so.
Salinity?
I'm sorry?
Salinity? Anyway, that's a.
No, you know what, I think actually more concerned, because this is a marina here, so where they would put the cages, might have that an issue.
Right.
But this isn't trustee, this is not trustee underwater lands, because it's a dredged canal.
Looks like we own a lot of land in this area.
Yeah, and actually,
Yeah.
there's off to the side here where you can't see, it's actually a giant preserve too that the Nature
Below it?
Conservancy stewards, to the, what direction? Would it be the south? Yeah.
Bottom right-hand corner.
So the area that is going to be blocked off is the area in blue, right?
On the second page, in the middle, you'll see in red, it says
Oh,
off-leash
which-
area.
I believe it's in here.
And like
Right- right
Kristen
where it
said,
says
it's a
off-leash.
22-acre property, the off-leash area
But
is
it's-
.08 of an acre.
Okay, because it's not marked, all I see is off.
Look on the
this
page
area.
before.
This is off-
No,
It's kinda right where that is, right?
On the first
The page
page
before,
is the
John.
dimensions.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see where it actually goes, I guess, a little far.
right where that-
It's pretty much right where the red marking is.
So it's not going to interfere with any future plans?
It's more like that.
It's here, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little lower than where I drew it over
Yeah.
there. It seems great.
And we just put a couple of images of
So
what
you-
the doggy fountain that the Rotary donated
Oh, that's
would
nice.
look like. We would have these doggy bag dispensers and cans in the small dog area and the large dog area so people can pick up after themselves. And then I have a draft rules and regulations.
Do we have other places where we have these dog fountains? Is this gonna be the first?
We do have at Good Ground Park some water fountains with the doggy dish on the bottom.
Okay.
And the bags, how are they disposed of? Who picks them up from these?
We would have currently, either our maintenance department does it, or also our park attendant staff does a lot of those,
Are you gonna
doggy
do,
dispensers.
are you gonna do just a dog fountain or a human fountain too?
It's a human fountain up top, so humans drink out of here, and then the doggy dish is on the bottom.
Oh, okay, so they really are right next to each other like that?
Yep, it's one connected unit.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Is there
And
a
we
water
ran the
main?
water in, I'm sorry.
You're answering the question. Is there a water main on the property?
Yeah, so we actually, this past fall, I'm losing
Yeah, I don't
timelines here
remember
with
either.
COVID. But we already, internally, our maintenance division ran the water across the property. It's county water, so it's already now at the entrance of the park where the parking area is, so we'll just now run it up to where the fencing is gonna be connected to the fountain.
That's good.
Now, is it
I'm sorry.
literally only for small dogs?
No,
I'm looking at the
there's,
sign that says small dogs.
yeah, that's just the area that's marked off,
We're not prejudicing against larger dogs.
in the
This is a whole
bottom
lobby.
corner.
More fit dogs.
So we have a double gated entrance, so you walk into,
Oh, I
it's
see,
like
there's a
Sally
small dog.
Port area.
Oh, so the small dogs get their own area.
Yes.
Got it.
So you
And that's a
have,
standard dog park.
Okay.
so are you gonna have an attendant here the full time? Because you
No.
have certain rules here that I think are hard to enforce.
No, there's dog parks like this everywhere.
Yeah.
They don't have
Most people
attendants.
agree,
There's one right here.
Legally
Self-enforcing.
responsible for the actions of their dogs, that kind of stuff,
It's not what happens.
yeah.
We're not putting a staff person to babysit.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, it didn't seem logical to do that, but.
I did send it to, animal control and our town attorney's office. And animal control said he would add it to his list of patrols. And the town attorney seemed to think that, you know, everything was consistent with the town code and could be enforceable if there were any issues.
Yeah,
Okay.
fairly
The water
standard
fountain?
in the
Is
industry.
the water fountain that you're installing? I'm sorry, were you speaking about that?
No, I'm done,
Okay.
thank you.
Is that an all-weather water fountain? It has to be turned off each? and-
Yes, thank you, that's a good point. This will be a seasonal facility in terms of the water, service. We will be winterizing it, and
Okay.
the hours are till dusk, so, you know, certain times of the year, it would only be open till about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
But yes, the water fountain would not be turned on all year.
And this was brought, obviously, to the CAC. Was it brought to the Civic as well in East Quogue? To what extent did we have?
We
public-
don't typically go to the civics.
They
or
do know about
maybe a
it. They,
presentation or something?
they
Unless
have
they
been
ask us.
corresponding with me, and I've been answering their questions. I actually told them that the work session was here today, and I did not hear back from anybody that they were attending.
I'm here, attending.
From the CAC?
Yes.
Anybody from the Civic? No,
Right,
but they were informed.
okay, good.
And the community, what'd you call it? Community stewardship, right, you folks here, right? I'm assuming, because when you were here in 2017, there were about 20 of you, you were all like psyched about this, and you kind of, I asked if you were going to form some kind of organization, or, you know, Friends of the Dog Park or something like that. Is that something that was formed? And is that the stewardship, the folks who are gonna steward the dog park?
Yeah, we have an
Can you
email.
step up? Thank you, Brian.
Do I have to introduce myself? Brian Babcock. We do have an email chain and a text message chain. Really, that's the only way to communicate at this point. I do have phone contacts with at least 20 or more of the stewards that are still interested. It's just been an ongoing process, but yeah, they're still there.
So do we, Lisa's here, I guess, we don't need a formal stewardship agreement on something like this with CPF land? All right.
Yeah, man.
Well, I don't think we have one for, I think basically the Parks Department's gonna manage
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I think a
We're not
group
turning
like
the
this
management
would be important in just patrolling each other. So, you know, if they see that there's waste, left on the ground, maybe that group could help with properly disposing it.
So it's an
or if they see
informal,
people
community-driven.
making
Absolutely.
infractions,
Great, I
they
like
let
that.
us know.
Yeah, I see, look, this is gonna be run like any other town park is gonna be run. If the friends of the park wanna donate things along the way to make it a better experience, signage or amenities, I think that's fine, they can have that role. But in terms of the day-to-day operation, that's gonna be Kristen's job to make sure it's properly managed.
Yeah, we just ask that they kind of be the eyes and ears and
Right,
stay
and
in
that's my
contact with
point,
us.
to make this park as good as it can be. You
Yes.
know, community involvement and eyes there and reporting to the Parks Department. That's
Sure. Yeah, the goal is to, formulate an official group of people that are, phone contacts and such. And I do think it will be self-policed. I mean, I see it here in Southampton, even in the East Quogue Park where the people walk their dogs and they have control there. I mean, it's clean. People keep clean, pick up after themselves.
People are pretty good in our parks. We do allow for dogs in our upland parks, and we do have these doggy bag dispensers pretty much in every park that we have, and Beach End, Road End, and people are pretty good. You know, you have your handful of people here and there,
I think it's fine.
but overall, given the amount of dogs we get through our facilities, it's, you know, people are pretty well behaved.
No headlines, man bites dog, stuff like that.
That's my-
Man bites dog? No.
Brian, anything else you wanted to offer?
Well, first of all, let me just say thank you to everybody that's here. Kristen especially, you've done a lot of work on this. Julie's met us multiple times at the site. We thank her for heading this up with us. The Rotary also, with their donation, has been a tremendous asset. The public, from the onset, we were tasked to see what the public's response would be. We immediately held a fundraiser and raised, $3,300. I'll double check the exact number, but it is sitting in a fund right now with the East Quogue Chamber of Commerce, ready to be used. So we have a lot of people that are excited to move forward with this. Obviously, with the delay, has been tough, and trying to fend off some of the people that have been asking. I mean, some people donated several $100s at the time and are anxious to see this move forward. So we're happy to be here today and able to have this opportunity. So I'm really looking forward to, moving forward with it.
I'm good.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
And thank you for spearheading.
Julie as well.
And yes, Julie.
Right next to me doing it all the time.
Anything else on the dog run or dog, what do you call it?
Off leash area.
Off leash area?
Unless anybody, I mean, it's up to you.
No, it's
I'll hear from any of
also
the
it's good.
public.
No, I think, we discussed this before. I
Yes,
thought-
we have.
So I think.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's your recommendation.
There might be some people concerned about it, but, yeah, sure. I'm fairly comfortable that once this is in, everybody's gonna love it, but.
It's just Kathy Seeliger. I'm here on behalf of the CAC and as a private citizen and on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, and everybody is very excited about it. Lots of community support. I personally haven't heard of any negativity. I have people all the time saying to me, when is this happening? When is this happening? So again, I just wanted to say, we have a lot of support in the community.
That's great.
Great,
Thank you.
thanks.
Yeah, so let's get this thing built.
Do it.
Excellent.
There's anxious dogs waiting.
Yes. And get
Leashes.
people out of the
Want
house.
unleashing.
Good.
Wanted to get in shape.
Kristen, while you're here, a couple quick things. You just brought me a sample, so where the militia green, the brickwork is gonna get done, it's gonna
It's started,
look like it's always been there, it's gonna be beautiful.
yeah, it's really gonna make that park, pop. I mean, it's been kind of, been needing some TLC. This walking path is gonna look beautiful with the brick. We're gonna do some landscaping, some cleaning up of the area, so it's gonna be a really nice little park behind Main
Is
Street,
there,
Bridgehampton.
I'm trying to remember if there's a plaque there that, I know there's something that says militia green.
There's
but
a big,
Is there something that explains?
monument,
There is.
but I think it could use more,
Like, this is the site
information.
where in whatever 1712, what, I don't know.
Yeah, and actually Julie Green and I had met out on the site, the town historian, a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, if she has more that she can recommend, we could put some more, signage there, because I think it could, whatever's on the monument, I can't remember exactly what it says, but it's very brief. So a little bit more history as to what went on there would be.
Yeah, Tommy John,
There's a New York State plaque that's on Main Street.
Yes,
Close to the
there's
site.
that one there, and then in the park, there's a monument.
It's
It's
obviously-
very, it's just
It's
like,
a-
this was the site of the militia green. It doesn't like get into
Yeah,
that, the
like, do
history
you
of
know the
like
history,
how it
man?
was used.
why is it called militia green?
Well, it was a training area during the American Revolution for the
There we
Patriots.
go.
It's the green.
And I think
that-
it encompassed
Concrete.
actually like that whole.
It needs to say that
Yeah,
somewhere.
area, a lot bigger than what's.
Tommy John could just hang out at the park and just, just explain, yeah. All right, no, that's good. So, yeah, let's get something written
Yeah,
up.
we will.
But
Okay.
Maybe, Tommy John, you can help with the inscription, figuring out what it should say.
I think there's a, Landmarks Board has a write-up, should talk to Ed Wisnowski.
Um,
Something, there was something involved with a house, well, never mind. But
Yeah,
maybe
um,
Julie obviously was probably
yeah, and
related.
actually, apparently the neighbor was giving the whole history to the concrete vendor yesterday. He's like, I had no idea. He filled me in on everything.
So
And it
I-
was bigger. All
Yes,
those
it
spots were
encompassed
part
that
of it, you know.
whole triangle where Main Street is and across the street, and there was an old pub on the corner, I
On the other
guess,
side, yeah, that was.
that it was the training ground for all of the East End, I believe, for the militia, and then they would go to the pub, you know, socialize after.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
I think you've done this in other places, but, you know, we can give the short version and then a QR code that we can scan.
Yeah.
Or give the long version.
Yeah, we do have that in,
Yeah, we did that.
history,
after
the history walk
the
stuff,
water park,
add that
yeah.
to it, yeah.
So beaches wise, we're pretty much, then we're done, right? There's no more lifeguarding and no more, the parking restrictions are sort of,
They
Off now?
expired, the extended parking restrictions expired September 30th,
right.
so there's currently no parking.
So anybody can go to the beach now.
Yes.
Hard to get a tan, but today's not a bad day.
It's not too
Days,
Yeah,
yeah.
today's one of them.
Yeah, so that, no, that's good, and I know we have to, well, at some point have a conversation about next year. I'm hearing from public safety that the restrictions on the non-resident, I think it was the non-resident pass, that you had to show a lease in the town of Southampton,
And the rental
a
permit.
rental permit, that led to
Then-
hundreds of properties actually coming in that had been rented without rental permits, getting rental permits. So
Yeah.
it was a substantial revenue source, and now we have all those properties now also having been checked for safety, you know, smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. So it's a positive thing. So we'll have to maybe talk about that next year, how we
Yeah,
can.
that was an unanticipated,
A windfall there.
Yeah, that came of that, so.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't expect it all of a sudden, like, they got bombarded with the applications for the rental permit once we were requiring that to get the non-resident permits. We were really restricting it due to the capacity issues. We were really trying to
Right.
just leave it for people who were, actually renting within the town of Southampton. So, yeah.
And we did eventually open it up, though.
We did, yeah, we did eventually open it up where anybody was able to obtain the non-resident permit. That was probably about halfway through the summer.
Maybe we'll need like a different categories. I mean, we'll have to have like the, I don't know if you really want to treat renters differently than homeowners. So like the one permit for anyone living in Southampton. And then those who, I guess, rent short-term, right? So there were different, there are different
Yeah.
types of people who use our beaches.
I mean,
The seasonal rental permit, the year-round residents, it's like $40 for the
Yeah.
permit. And the seasonal residents, it's more expensive.
well, if you're a non-resident, so you could be a seasonal resident, if you own the house, you're still entitled
You're still to the $40
your resident permit.
Okay,
Yeah, people who are non-resident, it's one rate of $400.
right, but we limited those this year to people who,
Typically, anybody who wanted one could get one. This year, they had to prove that they were renting within the town of Southampton and had a valid rental permit, or sign an affidavit stating that this is my daughter who's staying with me in my house that I own and I'm a resident, and they were able to then get their non-resident permit.
okay, then maybe there should be a different category for people who are non-residents who aren't renting in Southampton. Maybe they live in East Hampton or, you know, Brookhaven, but want to use our beaches frequently.
It would just be a different, I mean, it depends on how you want those fees to be. Like, are you looking, like, would we be looking to charge more for that and less for
Yeah,
people
maybe.
who are renting within the town,
Yeah, maybe.
you know? So you'd have to look at that. I think
Maybe because this year we didn't issue any of those until late in the season.
This year, though, typically, we would only sell about 800 or 900 of those non-resident permits. This year was very popular because you couldn't get a daily or a non-resident permit in East Hampton at all there were restrictions on Brookhaven
And we weren't
beaches.
doing dailies either.
No, so really the only option for people at the time were these non-resident permits. So we did sell a lot more than we typically would. I don't know that we'd have a lot of people clamoring from outside the area to get it under normal circumstances,
Right.
when there's other options for them.
Sure,
So that's something to consider too.
right, they might go back to the dailies.
Yeah, or, or just buy their permit in East Hampton. But East Hampton didn't allow for any non-resident permits this year.
And we're doing something different at Long Beach this year for East Hampton residents in Sag Harbor Village.
Well, yeah, we're looking at that to amend the code. I think we were maybe thinking about timing that up. I know, Councilman Martell and, Councilwoman Mofstad were still working on the road end parking restrictions, some of those that they wanted to amend. So, I don't know if we wanted to put that all as part of those public hearings because it's all beach related.
So there might be a separate permit for road end parking?
No, but to amend the town code for changing the dates that the permits would be required, and also to bring in some of the road ends that aren't currently requiring
Okay.
permits. So it seemed
Yeah, maybe do it all
kind of
at once.
natural to do, if there's gonna be other amendments to the fee schedule for beach permits, it all kind of ties together.
Mm.
Do all the public hearings at once.
Okay.
Just a thought.
The village issue, that's not part of our code, that's just something we've been doing, right?
Yeah,
It
it's
is
a,
in the code.
That-
It is in the code that, the town shall sell, East Sag Harbor Village residents who live on the East Hampton side at a resident permit rate.
right, apparently, and you know the history here.
Yeah,
I guess
it's
when
on the deed from the Foster family when they gave Long Beach to the town of Southampton. It was also given to the village of Sag Harbor, but that's Long Beach, Foster Memorial Beach.
Yeah, so that's been the problem, is we've been treating them like every Southampton resident so that they could go to the Long Beach, but the same sticker allows them to go to every beach.
Yeah.
That the Southampton taxpayers cover the maintenance costs of. So we wanted to sort of close that loophole, still allowing them to go to Long Beach, but not necessarily be able to go everywhere.
Yeah, so the easiest solution there would probably be to just have a separate permit just for those people.
Right, so they would pay the $40,
Mm-hmm.
and that would give them unlimited use at Long Beach. And if they wanted to get the non-resident permit, we discount it by $40.
That was, one of the ideas that we were considering.
Right, because that, the non-resident would also allow Long Beach,
Yeah.
so you don't want to have them pay twice for that. I also wanted to ask you about Halloween and COVID. I mean, normally, I guess we do something at Good Ground Park for Halloween,
Yes.
but this year, we're not going to do what we normally do, the Halloween, whatever, festival.
Last year was amazing. We had probably like 400 people turn out at Good Ground Park. We had a DJ, we had pumpkin decorating, we had a magician. It piggybacked on, there's a walkabout that the Mark Sinclair Foundation sponsors every year where the kids go trick-or-treating store to store downtown, and we timed it so that when that ended, they could come walking down from Main Street. It was really great. Unfortunately, this year due to COVID and gathering restrictions, we can't do that, but we did come up with some other activities for the kids to do. So we do have a scavenger hunt at the park, where if you go through our rec system and register, we send you the clues. My son actually did it last night. And you go around, and then once you find everything, you could come into our office, and we'll give you a goodie bag. And Hank's Pumpkin Town donated 200 pumpkins to us. So the kids also get a pumpkin with some sticker decals, and then we also have a pumpkin decorating contest through our Instagram account. So they could upload their pictures to that to win a prize. We also have best pet costume to upload to our Instagram account. So we have a couple of virtual and individual activities that we're promoting. We've also been doing recreation programs outside in the park. We have Zumba down at Good Ground Park. We have, we're still doing some outside exercise at East Quogue Village Green. So we're doing what we can. Some art classes at Red Creek Park.
If people wanna find out about all these things, it's all online?
It's all online, it's on the town website, on the parks page, we have like a newsletter with the fall activities, we've been promoting a lot through, Instagram and Facebook and through, emails. So, trying to get word out there. I think we had 32 people sign up for the scavenger hunt already.
Okay. And that's ongoing?
It's ongoing, yeah, you just do it, you sign up, you
Through
get your
Halloween?
clues, and you go whenever you want, yeah.
Okay. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's cute.
Creative idea. Anything else we should know about while you're here?
Ooh.
That's an open
You got 3 hours?
How much time do we have?
That's okay. So, no, it's good. We've covered a lot already, so. All right. Any other questions for Kristen?
No.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks, good luck.
Everyone, thank you. Be safe, be well. We're gonna be starting, Georgia exam if I Yeah, thank you for doing that. It's early.
Okay, I guess updates. So let's see, I mean, the numbers continue to be good. I check them every day. The East End on COVID the incident rate is significantly lower than Western Suffolk. I mean, I normally, since we're a 10% of the population, I expect to be about 10% of the number of cases. We're about 5% of the number of cases in Suffolk County. So that's good. For example, well, Southampton had 2 cases reported yesterday throughout the whole town. That's fairly typical. So it's a pretty, it's pretty low rate of infection. I'd like to get it to 0. Apparently there are I talked to Southampton Hospital yesterday. They don't have any COVID patients right now, which is great.
Yeah, they have a great protocol there, too.
Which is great news. So we want to make sure it stays that way. And, now with the schools back in session and people going indoors more, there's obviously a risk that we'll see a spike. We haven't seen it yet. So let's hope it continues. We did get news yesterday related to, the summer and the concert event that the governor is now asking for our special events that we issue to be reviewed and approved by New York State. We haven't received anything yet in writing, have we, Jim?
No, we have not.
So we don't really have any of the details. Is it whether that's going to be every event or just large events, or what led them to that conclusion that Southampton should be singled out like that? We believe that the entities that reviewed that permit reviewed them carefully for compliance with all the state guidance, and that it met the standards. And the organizer unfortunately didn't follow the permit precisely, and toward the end of the event allowed people to congregate, people who were backstage, in front of the stage. And I think we issued 3 summonses against the company. And but we don't know what the state found in their investigation, if they felt that our special events permitting process was flawed in any way. They haven't shared that information, right, Jim, with any of us?
That's correct. Yeah, but in reality, all the towns are referring larger special events to the state for their approvals during this pandemic period. So it's not really something that
We've been doing it.
Right, we've been doing it since the summer, and all the towns have done it. Town of Hempstead had a 28 series concert series this summer. Before they moved on it, they had it reviewed by the state. Other towns have done the same thing, so
Yeah.
there's nothing really special about what we're doing or required to do that all the towns on Long Island aren't doing at this point, so.
Right, and, you know, the guidance can be confusing,
Yes.
you know.
Question.
You know, we, you know, even with like Pumpkin Town that was just mentioned before, you know, we referred that to the state.
Yep.
You know, the state guidance says you're allowed to have 4,000 people at that field. It's a lot of people, you know. But it's a big field. It's 30 acres. So, but, you know, before we issued the permit, we said, New York State, take a look at this.
Yep.
And, you know, but it meets the guidance, so it's,
It's a case of first impression for everybody. So we're all trying to get through this together and
yeah, nobody,
best way we can.
you know, nobody wants to see anybody get infected with COVID. And, you know, thank God the Chainsmokers event, as controversial as it was, did not lead to any cases of COVID. You know, it wasn't one of the, like the super spreader events. That's not to say that what happened was excusable. We're as upset as the state is about what happened, but, you know, it's challenging because we want to find ways for people to live their lives and we want to be entertained, raise money for charities, and do it in a safe way. You know, we're happy to work with the state, and we will. We'll,
Yes.
I don't know what's next in terms of how, we're gonna hopefully get something from the state, and then we'll be able to respond back.
That's correct.
We have, as the board's aware, we're conducting a top-to-bottom review of our special events permitting procedures. The board isn't involved in special, you know, we had no role to play in this, you know, so in the permitting, it went, you know, the clerk's office is sort of the point of entry, and then it gets circulated to police and to fire marshals in the various entities for review of our own codes and state guidance and things like that. But we have hired a company that specializes in homeland security and health and safety to look at our town code and make some recommendations if, you know, if they find that things can be improved. So,
Yep.
and Jim, are we gonna get an update at some point on that?
Yes, we've been working with that Redland Strategies. They met with our Department of Public Safety last week and also with our PD. And they've been in constant communication with the state and the governor's office as well. And all my feedback is that the governor's office and the state are very pleased as to what the town is doing. And so we're moving ahead on that. And I spoke as recently as yesterday with the principal of the agency, so he's encouraged, and I think we're working together and brought up some good points, I think. So there were some things that we can do probably better, which is, you know, always a good thing,
Good.
so,
The state apparently also fined the organizers
yes,
$20,000.
that's correct.
And we issued 3 summonses, I believe, as well.
Yep, so violations of
I don't know
the
the
civic
status of
conditions
those.
of the permits, yep.
Yeah, I don't know the status of that, but I wanted to make sure the board was aware, even though we're not in the special permit business as a town board, that, you know, this is in the media, you know, because of the governor's announcement yesterday. And I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. All right, last night, we honored emergency nurses. Councilman Martell was there, and Councilman Schiavone was there. This was organized by Ryan Murphy, our public safety administrator, and the Big Duck Town Park County Monument landmark was lit purple in honor of Nurses Week. We were, grateful, we continue to be grateful to these men and women in the nursing profession, particularly these emergency nurses who have been there for everyone who's needed them throughout this pandemic, putting their own lives at risk, their families at risk, so that we could, be treated, in most cases healed, and on the tragic cases where people didn't make it, those nurses, did everything they could for everyone. And we were joined by County Executive Ballone. We were joined by Assemblyman Thiel and Legislator Bridget Fleming, and Robert Ross from Southampton Hospital was there, and nurses from a number of different hospitals, Mather Hospital, Peconic Bay, Stony Brook, Southampton, Good Samaritan. It was really, I thought, a really nice event. Tommy John shared a few words, and we presented a proclamation. And this is Emergency Nurses Week, is that what it's called, or? So this, I guess, from the, 11th to the 17th, maybe the dates, so it's going to continue, the duck is going to be continued to be illuminated for a few more days, purple. And, yeah, it was a nice thing. Tommy, do you want to add anything to that, or Rick?
It's a great opportunity to thank our nurses. Really, how many times do you really get to do that? And I was happy to do it, and it's great that the town is honoring nurses in this way. They were on the front lines, and still are, and always have been.
Beyond this week and the other 51 weeks, I mean, it's wonderful what they do every day. Being a clumsy adult, I tend to visit the emergency room quite a bit. And it's amazing, when you walk in, they're your friend, you're confident, you're triage professional, and they take care of you, and the professionalism is above board. We're lucky to have Stony Brook, Southampton so close, and to have Peconic just over the border. We're very lucky to have those facilities, and we're very lucky to have those nurses every day.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, we have great facilities out here and great people. All right, that's really, I think, all, Julie, do you want to talk a little bit about Foster Park, and maybe Tommy John, update on the census and whatever else you guys want to talk about?
Sure, well, Foster Evan Park, we had our ribbon cutting. I'm not sure what day it was, a couple days ago.
Isn't it weird? It's like the same way with COVID.
I cannot
It's like a
figure out
blur.
when it is.
Time dilation, it's
Yeah,
really weird.
and it was great to see some of you.
It's over the weekend, I think, right? Last weekend?
I don't know, I'm sorry. John Irwin from Parks Maintenance, when we did the first go-around of the park, had a nickname for us called the Mommy Mafia. Because we'd come in and say, hey, we need this, and he would say, oh, of course. So shout out to the couple of the Mommy Mafia that were able to show up, and to all those who couldn't. Parks did a great job. I drove by one of the days after that ribbon cutting when it was sunny, and lots of kids there and families, so it was great.
Yeah, it's a really nice event.
Yep.
We need sharper scissors next time.
Yes, the scissors need to be sharpened for sure, or the ribbon needs to be thinner. But it was nice, and thank you all for attending.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a great.
And the slide was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. It's a nice little park there. I'm not sure everybody knows about that park. No,
It
they
is.
should know about it.
No, I know. No, it's nice.
It's great, because it's a really secluded spot
It
to
is.
be able to bring your kids.
Yep. Yep.
And it's brand new playground, and I love that the seniors are, building their, what's
Cozy
it called?
Dome.
Cozy Dome.
Yes. Yeah, that was fabulous.
Yeah,
A beautiful tribute to the kids that we're raising in Hampton Bays.
yep,
It's a gorgeous location.
It is.
And, it's the Pine Barrens as Hampton Bays was, so it's a preserved park.
yeah.
Like,
I
you get a
spent-
trail through there and some tree markers, and
Spent many, many happy hours there.
that was the
Happy all
original
day.
site of
Happy
the
hour?
Water Authority.
Yep.
That was the tank. That was.
Yep.
The oldest pipes are in that area,
Joe,
in the district.
got it.
But that's a different conversation.
That's great. No, congratulations on that. You were instrumental in the beginning getting that playground built with community donations. You were instrumental the second time around too, getting the board support to get it rebuilt, so.
Well, I have to thank the Parks Department. They did it, so,
Yeah, Kristen.
yeah, absolutely.
Finding out the insurance was an interesting was an interest.
Insurance wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah, it
It's-
was.
Or it's not that they wouldn't pay for it, it's, what was the, there was an issue there.
Yeah,
Not,
It's not really,
yeah,
it's not in our coverage.
yeah.
not
It's the
part
way-
of the coverage, yeah.
We would rather not talk about it, but it got done, and I agree with you. I think Kristen
Yeah.
did a great job.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I do have one more update.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
So, it was either last night or the night before, North Sea CAC, it must have been the night before. Tommy John was, via Zoom, gave a airport noise presentation, which I think they all appreciated. We also had Star Aquatic Center was there and gave them an update, which I thought was nice. They also discussed some other projects that are in front of other boards. But it was a nice meeting, and again, thank you for zooming in.
Of course, I'm one of the liaisons at North Sea, and they're greatly affected. We've been getting a lot of calls about helicopter noise over North Sea as they bank up from Hampton Bays now to East Hampton Airport, so wanted them to be aware of.
When we were doing the ribbon cutting, remember?
That's right.
We were doing the ribbon cutting, and you had to stop your comments because of airport noise.
Ironic.
Yeah.
Yes, it was funny.
But, yeah, so this new route is certainly causing some problems.
Right, and at the same time, there were some members of the committee who were presenting to the Village of Sag Harbor as well. And just numbers, empirical numbers, and just letting them know of the Eastern Regional Helicopters Association's flight change route, and a lot of people are reporting an uptick in airplane and air traffic noise, but the truth is that East Hampton Airport is down by 36% this year. So it's the change in routes.
Huh. I do see the ads for Blade as they advertise, 6-day-a-week service from New York out to the Hamptons.
Tommy John, do you think that those numbers being the drop of operations, but the increase in complaints is because they're going over more dense areas and?
Well, in our town.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
theory.
Yep.
And it's something that, we have to take a look at the numbers and complaint areas. And thankfully, East Hampton Town does a capable job at tracking this. That's really where we're getting our numbers from. So, we'll see. It's the kind of thing that you can't necessarily determine on a given day where things are, and the amount of traffic and where they're going and where they're coming from. So we're looking at it.
Right.
And making people aware. I think they should be aware.
Yeah, keep us in the loop.
Yeah, we will.
Census, I guess the Supreme Court says it's over now, right?
Tomorrow is the last day to voluntarily report census. The administration was the presidential administration was successful in ending the count before the end of the month, so the census will be over. And I want to thank everyone for being involved in that. I know I brought it up a couple of times here.
Does that mean that
but it's important.
the people going
as
door to
we
door
know.
will stop too, or that's going to keep going?
No, that has ended in
Yeah, the
Southampton Town.
enumeration's done.
Yeah.
It's done, okay.
And they went door to door, so, we're
We have
hoping
in-
that we have better reporting than we did last time around.
Oh, good. So the
Because we know
numbers-
there's a lot of people out here, and.
Well, hopefully they'll get counted.
Right.
You can still get counted today, so,
Yes.
it's really,
I know just in Southampton Village, there were hundreds of newly registered voters there.
Mm-hmm.
And these are people, I guess, who are now living here who weren't living here in the past. But now, because of the pandemic, they really should get counted in the census if they're living here
as of April 1st.
as of April 1st, yeah. Which-
And our
which they will.
representative districts are bigger, too. I mean, there's so many reasons, money is one, as far as aid
Schools,
from the federal government and state government to our schools, lunch programs, our senior programs, and our representation, and the numbers in Congress as well, so,
So is it 6 PM today it ends?
tomorrow.
Online,
Tomorrow.
6 PM.
Tomorrow.
What day is today? Thursday,
Today's
Hold on.
the 15th.
It's the
15th
15th,
today.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a good chance that this increase in population we've seen will continue for at least the near term. They're talking about not having a widely distributed vaccine till,
That's what I'm seeing anecdotally.
Vaccine trials
Fall.
were halted.
you
So,
know,
Right.
so I think there's gonna be a little while.
All of our schools have seen increases in the number of students who have registered out here,
Yeah.
so.
And if we see another uptick in the city, which they're working very hard to prevent, but if, that may lead to more people coming back out, saying, we're going back out to this, the summer home.
Okay, just to clarify, we all had received, I think, something from Sandra Dunn, and it does say it closes on October 15th.
Actually, that's incorrect. It's the following day at 6 in the morning, so really effectively it ends today. But there's, if you're filling out, you can go right up to 6 a.m.
So today's the last day to fill out the form?
Well, you get some extra time
I stand corrected.
on the 16th.
I'm just going by what we were sent.
So if you're watching this live and you haven't filled out,
Do it now.
Fill it out today, right now.
This is your last chance.
you know,
You haven't done your civic duty.
generally
filling out
people
the
are watching
census.
these meetings, the following week, so
Mm-hmm.
we hope you filled it out.
No, there might be some live viewers out there, so. All right, well, who else has got an update?
After that, no.
Just a quick one on Halloween. There was an article in Patch and on 27 East that told town by town what was going on. Hampton Bays wasn't mentioned. Julie and I have been in contact with both the Mark Sinclair Foundation. They have canceled their walkabout through town to the businesses. And if you know Hampton Bays and Halloween at all, you know Maryland Boulevard becomes Scaryland Boulevard. And it can attract over 1,500 family members there to go through the little haunted house and so on. And Wilson family has decided not to participate in that this year, so there will not be, the House of Horrors they put together for the kids. So we're hoping that eases the stress on Maryland Boulevard. So Julie and I would like to encourage everybody to still trick or treat, but keep it in your neighborhood to the people you know and the homes you know, and, have a good time and take advantage of what the town has to offer.
And I guess wearing a mask on Halloween is sort of appropriate anyway, right? All right, anything else? All right, we do have executive session items. So let's see, we're gonna talk about acquisitions and confidential legal advice, and there might be personnel issues too. So I'll make a motion to end our work session and go into executive session.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned for all other purposes.